Bet you didn't expect to see me back so soon. Little inspiration today. Well, we'll see who pops in. Man. Sometimes the gadget doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you need. But before I get too heavy into it, I'll wait and see who pops in. Whew, man. Really got floored today. Watched a podcast that JohnnyO did a while back, and it was extremely moving in more ways than one. Somebody's here already. Oh, look, Macho's in the house. What's happening, young lady? Good afternoon. Hope you're having a good day. God bless. Johnny, the kid's in the house. Well, thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Oh, man, what a day. You know, in yesterday's live, I mentioned this gentleman who moved to Wisconsin and got with his family and got chased out. And he was on JohnnyO's podcast. And I had just got started on it and I didn't get to finish it, so I finished watching it today. And it was extremely moving. Whew, man. So this podcast, and what I'm going to do is I'll link it down in the comment section when this video is over so that you guys can find it, because that's the only way I know how to do it. But this gentleman tells the story of, sorry, I got all these banners coming in, tells the story of his son who was a Navy SEAL and he died a hero. I'm not going to get too much into the story about this gentleman because I really want you to go watch the podcast. But what I will say is, this man's son won the Medal of Honor. And when this man's son was a little boy, he got picked on and bullied quite a bit. When he was born, he was jaundiced and had asthma. Ended up being a Navy SEAL. And like I said, he died a hero. You know, I'm always coming out here talking about bullies and whatnot, and how I had a real big problem with people bullying people. And this story really spoke to me because of that. And how your kids getting picked on, or you being picked on, you can persevere and overcome. And how important it is not to quit. But like I said, I'll link this in the comment section after, because I don't know how to put it in the description or whatever most people do. I don't know how to do that. So you'll have to plug back in to pull up this podcast. Michael Mansour, I think that's how you say his name, is a gentleman that died a hero. It chokes me up because the story is so powerful. And this guy talking about his son, it's just, I was glued to it. I couldn't. Anyway, let me check the comments. Oh, wow, I got all kinds of stuff here. Wow. Dilbert's in the house. Howdy, brother. Sending love from Tennessee. Well, thank you, Dilbert. Appreciate you, young man. Oak. Hi, kind sir. Good to see you, Oak. Me. Um. Okay. Illy. Hi. Good to see you. I don't know how to read that. Whatever. K-O-T. Cot. Lillian. Hi. How you doing? Some more stuff I can't read. Oh, look, Eric's in the house. Good to see you, homeboy. Always a pleasure. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Dilbert. Let me go back. There we go. There's one for Dilbert, the kid. Give one to Dilbert. Give one to the kid. Let me give one to Macho. Hold on, you guys. Wanted to pass out some wrenches. Show my appreciation to you good folks. And I think if you got wrenches, your comments can't get messed with. Eric, you're the one that reminded me of the wrench because I saw yours. Hi, Johnny. Hope you're doing all right. I'm hanging in there, brother. Thank you. Some nonsense. I don't give a shit about whatever that crap is. I was going to hide them from the channel because what they are saying or if they are spamming. Yeah, Eric, I trust you, brother. You need to hide somebody, hide them. I don't give a shit. You know me and my reading. So if somebody's out there acting foolish, just give them the boot. You got my permission. Yeah. There you go, Eric. Go get them. Yeah, this podcast, it was incredible. Listen to this father tell the story of his family and his son. It was extremely inspirational. And it's the kind of story that young kids should see. Kids old enough to be in grade school and get bullied and need to know they're not the only one, and how you can still become a hero, even if you get picked on and you're small. This kid wasn't very big in school. He was frail. Like I said, born jaundice, had real bad asthma, didn't make it through the first process of being a Navy SEAL and had to quit, but yet he came back and succeeded, became a SEAL, and then was the recipient of the Medal of Honor, the highest award you can get in this country. It was extremely touching. Very proud father. And I highly recommend watching it and watching it all the way to the end, because it just gets better and better and better. Even though it's got a sad ending, it's just so good. So good. And the way they do the podcast and the way Jocko and this gentleman go back and forth, the way they tell the story, very, very good. Very good. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate you. I seek out these videos because they help me get through my bullshit. No matter how bad life is, you have to persevere and overcome. Life throws many obstacles in your way, but you can't quit. You know, my passion is to save dogs. It didn't work out for me here, but it's not over till it's over. I really had no no desire to make a video today, but after I got done watching this podcast, I had to come out and share this. It was just too good to keep to myself. And no matter what obstacles it is that you go through, not just your kids, but yourself, you can find inspiration to get you off your ass and keep fighting the good fight. Whoop, dropping shit. So how's everybody doing out there? How you doing, Eric? Macho, how you hanging in there? Kid, you keeping warm? How about you, Eric? You guys get snow down there? Mighty cold today. 24 degrees below zero for me today. And I think right now it's still 3 or 4 below zero. And I think on Wednesday, I'm supposed to see 27 below. And it's not going to get over zero for damn near a week, I think. I'm all bundled up, 2 hoodies and a vest and all kinds of shit. And I keep the thermostat down because I don't want to waste the money. Crazy. Check some messages. Eric, I'm doing all right, I guess, for the most part. Well, good, young man. You hang in there. And like I'm always riding you, bro, stay on your artwork. You got such an imagination. You got such talent with your hands, man. Utilize that. It'll help you get through those tough times, brother. Eric, cold today, possibly a chance of some snow after 7 p.m. Wow, I figured you guys get some snow down there in Texas. Macho, I'm good. The puppy had me up all night. Just like a baby. There you go, young lady. There you go. Good for you, man. I'm glad you got you a little puppy. Cutie, too. What a cute little puppy. Adorable. Yeah. I kind of wanted to do some storytelling myself. She's 7 months old. There you go, Macho. She is adorable. What a cute little puppy. Pretty colors, too. And those little ears. So watching this podcast, thinking about this gentleman and his son and their life and whatnot got me thinking a lot about my mom and myself as a little kid and what I went through and whatnot. I mean, before I was even born, mom had a hard time. I mean, her mom split when she was 12. She was just coming into puberty, right? And she had to be the mother of the house. Younger brother, younger sister, and grandpa had 2 jobs. So mom was the mom at the age of 12. And it took its toll on her. I mean, mom told me a story when she was going through puberty and got her period for the first time. She was too embarrassed to ask grandpa for money for Kotex. So she just had to fold up toilet paper, and she said that didn't work too well and had an accident in school and got teased and whatnot. Mom used to tell me a lot of shit when I was a kid. And then when mom was a teenager, one of her girlfriends, this lady named Arlene, and I remember Arlene, her and mom were, like best friends. And Arlene had an ex-boyfriend that I guess their relationship ended on bad terms. And mom was driving Arlene's car, and Arlene was riding shotgun for whatever reason. And mom got shot in the face. Bullet came through the windshield, and mom had a piece of shrapnel stuck right here. And they didn't take it out. And I remember mom saying, I could feel it. It's still there. So mom went through a lot of shit when she was young. And, you know, ended up getting pregnant while she was still in high school and had to put that son up for adoption. And I didn't know about that until after mom passed away. And Ancestry turned me on to some relatives. And one of them was a cousin. And she clued me in on mom putting this kid up for adoption. And then Ancestry educated me about my father, because mom gave me a name for my dad and it wasn't the right name. But through Ancestry, I found out who dad was. And he ended up getting shot by his best friend, murdered, because he was protecting his best friend's girlfriend from his best friend, from putting hands on. I don't know the particulars about it. I just know that my dad chased him off and the dude came back with a rifle and shot Pops. And he's buried in the military cemetery up in South City. I think Pops was in the, he was in the Navy, I think. I think there was a lot of stuff that mom didn't tell me. I mean, she told me far more than she should have, but, you know, she took a lot of secrets to the grave. And when I get to struggling with my demons because of some of the shit mom put me through and some of the stories she used to tell me when I was a little kid, mom had her scars, you know. She struggled and rubbed a lot of that off on me. I never stopped loving her. No matter how many times we got in arguments, mom would be drunk and we'd get in an argument. And one time we got into it in the morning. I needed a clean shirt for school and she didn't do the laundry. She told me to wear a dirty shirt. I said, I'm not going to put on a dirty shirt. I got to go to school. You know, I didn't want to get teased. I was in junior high school. And me and my big mouth, I told her, fuck you. And she slapped the shit out of me. Slapped me once. I said, do it again. She did it again, went through that about 3 times. And then she went to hit me a 4th time. And I grabbed her by her wrist and put her on the couch. And I said, you're never going to hit me again. So she gets on the phone and calls the social worker. And I'm incorrigible. Take him to the foster home. And that happened twice. But it wasn't her fault. It was what she went through as a kid. And sometimes I can be hard on myself for me letting my anger out in front of my dogs or at my dogs. But that's because what I went through as a kid. Sometimes you got to forgive yourself for your mistakes. But at the same time, you got to learn from them so that you don't repeat them, you know? And I make these videos hoping to pass this on, that if anybody sees any of this nonsense in the future, they can learn something and they don't have to go through what I went through. Or if they do, they can better understand life and persevere and overcome and make the best of it. You don't have to be stuck on stupid your whole life. You can find a way. I was real responsible as a kid because mom wasn't real responsible. There were times at the end of the month, the welfare check would run out and the food stamps would be gone and we had no food in the house. And mom would say, go eat at your friend's house. Life isn't always easy, but you got to find a way. No matter how hard it gets, you got to find a way. Because giving up ain't an option. When I was living with mom and we didn't have no money, and it wasn't like she could afford to give me an allowance or whatever, so if I wanted money, I had to get a job. So when I think I had to be 12, I got a newspaper route. Most people don't even know what a newspaper route is. A guy with the truck would show up every morning, or I should say every afternoon, because I had school in the morning, so I had an after school route, evening paper. And he would show up with a big stack of newspapers, and I had to fold them, put a rubber band, and stuff them in like saddlebags, where you could put it over your head and you'd have the papers in front of you and the papers behind you. I would tie it to the handlebars on my bicycle, and my route was about 3 miles away. Ride my bicycle over to my route and throw newspapers on people's porches. And then once a month, I had to go collect, knock on somebody's door. I'm here to collect for the Chronicle. And people would stiff you. They wouldn't answer the door, or they'd say, "Oh, I'll get you next month." And the problem with that was, if I didn't collect, I didn't get paid. I had to pay the newspaper guy for all the newspapers. So if I didn't collect the money from the people I delivered to, I got shorted on my pay, because he would charge me for the papers no matter what. So I was responsible to get my money out of these people. And some of them I would hound them, bang on their door at 6 o'clock in the morning, because they wouldn't be home in the afternoon. So I'd get there real early. They didn't like it. And I'd say, "Hey man, if you don't want me to come back tomorrow, I need my money for my newspaper." And then when I was 15, I got my first paycheck job, my hourly job, working at a car wash. And I lied on my application, said I was 16, and I made $2.90 an hour. This would have been junior high school, 1976, maybe 1977. And I remember when I got my first raise, they raised the minimum wage from $2.90 to $3.10 an hour. 30 cents an hour, boy, I thought that was $1,000,000. Saved up to buy my first car, so when I was 16, I could get my driver's license, and I wanted money to buy a car, so I saved up my money and I bought a 66 Chevelle. The time I came from, kids learned responsibility early on. And unfortunately, in this day and age, kids have no clue about what it takes to be responsible. You know, they hang out on their gadget and troll and think they're going to go viral one day, make some silly video, and they're going to get $1,000,000 for it, right? They have no work ethic. You know, today being the inauguration of Donald Trump, I really hope this country turns itself around. I really do. Did you hear what good old Joe Biden did? Passed out a bunch of pardons for Fauci and family members, people that weren't even charged with a crime. Preemptive, right? Just in case, because Trump's going to be president. So he gave a whole bunch of people pardons so they can't be prosecuted. Well, if you did nothing wrong, why do you need a pardon, Fauci? Man, it's unbelievable to me how people in this day and age get away with what they do. Absolutely insane to me. Let me see, Eric. I got to run to the store quick, but before I hit the road, possibly get bad. Oh, possibly get bad. Just wanted to say hi. Love you, brother. Give me a call sometime or I'll call you. Stay warm and have a good rest of your day. Right on, Eric. Thank you for that, brother. You do the same. And be safe out there on the roads, man. If it's that cold and you might get some snow, it could be a little icy out there, and no banging, no fenders, homie. Especially if you're going to be bad, be careful. Thanks again, you guys. Back when I was in high school, I was 18 years old. I flunked first grade because I couldn't read. So I had to stay back a year. And being 18 in high school and not being able to read real good, I didn't know what I was going to do for a job. You know, I wasn't going to work at a car wash or have a newspaper route, so I had to figure out some kind of career, you know. So me and a buddy, this guy Rudy Velick, went to the recruiting station to see about joining the military because I knew the military would learn me a job. Back then, this would have been 1981. We weren't at war. And I figured, you know, I could get in and get out and learn a trade. But because my reading score was so bad on the ASVAB test, they said the only way they could accept me was with a diploma. And because it didn't look like I was going to graduate, I ended up getting a job, but I ended up going to a continuation high school and got my diploma because even on a job application, they ask, you know, if you graduated high school. And I knew I had to at least try to get that done. And fortunately, at the continuation school, I was able to pull it off and get the diploma, and then kind of forgot all about the military and found a job and just kept working. I usually had a driving job, delivering stuff, truck driver, limo driver, all kinds of driving jobs because I didn't have to worry about my reading. All I had to do was go like a newspaper route, but instead I did it with a vehicle. mm, mm, mm. Hello, Unky. What's happening? Nikhil. I don't know how to read that, but good to see you. Welcome aboard. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate you. You know, like I was just talking about ancestry and how that's how I found out who my dad was and whatnot. Finding out about two brothers that I didn't know I had. One that mom put up for adoption, and then another brother that was the son of my dad who was murdered. He had a kid with his wife. So I guess my mom was a one night stand or an affair or whatever, right? He cheated on this lady with my mom, and that's how I got to be here. And so I tried to reach out to this other brother, and he didn't want to see me because he didn't want to upset his mom. So much craziness in life. And like I said, making these videos, if I can pass some of this stuff on and it helps some kid get through the day, knowing they're not the only one. And look at this guy covered in tattoos, 62 years old, retired from the sheet metal union, got a little pension from them, even though I had to get out early because of injuries to my body, work-related stuff. Paid taxes for almost 40 years, so I get a little bit of money from Uncle Sam from Social Security. Like I was saying, no matter how hard life is, you just got to push through. You can't give up. You can find a way, whether you can read or not, whether you had a dad or not. There's always a way. You might not like it, But if I didn't do what I did as a kid, I would have no income right now. I'd still have to be working, and my body's beat. I'd be really struggling. I'd probably be one of them people out there on the street homeless. But because I busted my ass as a kid, started working from the age of 12, I got what I got now. You know, I live on 30 acres with 2 houses and a barn and a shop and a pole building in the back. It didn't work out for me as far as the dog rescue and moving to northern Wisconsin, but it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. Sometimes I beat myself up for the mistakes I made in life, but I got a lot to be proud of. You know, pushing through all these hard times, living in this house, on this piece of property, that's a great accomplishment considering where I came from. And just like where I started at the beginning of this video, this gentleman who started life with asthma and having a hard time with the bullies and whatnot, and then becoming a Navy SEAL and dying a hero, he pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and wouldn't take no for an answer. I respect that. It inspires me to keep pushing for this dog rescue one day. You just never know. I mean, I'm no inspirational speaker, obviously, but sharing these war stories, you don't know who's going to see these videos years from now, long after I'm gone. And that's important to me because I care. I care about all you guys out there. You know, doing a kind act for a stranger, that's what makes the world go round. And like Macho there with their new puppy, man, I'm a big proponent on dogs. If you don't have a dog, go get you one. You have no idea how much that'll change your life. If you live in an apartment and you can't have a dog, well, I'm sorry. But if you're able to have a dog and you can afford to feed them and whatnot, it's the best thing you could do for yourself, especially if you got kids, man. Watching your kids grow up with the little dog and the bond they create sure beats sitting there playing on your damn phone. And just another gentle reminder, doing a kind act for a stranger, go to your local dog shelter and go take a dog for a walk. Get them out of that cage and take them for a walk. Or foster a dog. I've been thinking about doing that. I might be stuck here for a while, and if I could foster a dog for a little while, that might be exactly what I need. But my problem is I'll fall in love and I won't want to give them back. And with everything I got going on, I can't afford to have a dog right now. It's, like I said, it's not fair to the dog. I got some stressful times coming up with this move and figuring out and dealing with what I got to deal with in this neighborhood. So I can't afford to rub that off on a new dog. But if you got a good, stable life and you can afford it, go rescue a dog. You'd be surprised what that does for you. All right, I've been monopolizing this conversation for a while. All right. How come I don't see Dilbert? No, Dilbert, you should have a wrench, and you too, kid. I don't see them there yet, but they should be popping up. I see Macho got her wrench. Yeah, I think maybe if you guys got wrenches, your comments won't disappear. All this nonsense with my stalker and whatnot. Can't stop thinking about this podcast with Jocko and this gentleman talking about his son. It was so inspirational and so moving. And I really recommend come back and check the comments, and it'll be down there. And plug in and watch the whole thing, man, because it just gets better and better and better. Even though it has a sad ending, it's an incredible story. Incredible. They even named a ship after this guy. Man. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I think I'll just chill out for a minute. I've been running my mouth. See who pops in. A little wiped out today. Getting old and my health being shitty takes its toll on this old man. Been stressed out for so long it wears me down. Oh. Oh. Nick Hill. Nick Hill. Hello, Uncle Jai. How are you? I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. How are you? Where are you from, Nick Hill? If that's how you say your name. Right pronunciation. Well, thank you. Yeah, my reading ain't so good. I just have to sound it out and read it the way it looks. A lot of times that don't work, but every once in a while I get lucky. Thanks again, you guys. Appreciate you. I'm from India. Glad to talk to you. Right back at you, Nikhil. I got some silly text message saying that somebody from Bangladesh was trying to get into my Amazon account or something, and I just laughed. I ain't used that account in a long time, and I don't have anything hooked to it, so I was just like, whether it was a troll trying to get intel or it was legit. I haven't shopped on Amazon in 3 or 4 years since I moved here. But in this day and age, man, when it comes to the gadget and people doing bad deeds, incredible to me. Nobody wants to go get a job and earn a paycheck. They want to steal your money. Oh, crazy. I love me some coffee. Man, it's cold outside. 24 degrees below zero today. When you walk out the door, your nose hairs turn to icicles right quick. I'll be glad to get back to Cali. Back to the sunshine. I think it's 60 degrees back home today, and I'm looking at 24 below. What a difference. What a mistake. Never should have moved to this state. But I would have done anything for this dog rescue. Clearly. Look what I did. Oh, crazy. Crazy, crazy. So who else is out there? 13. Thank you. We get any more regulars in the house? Don't be bashful. Pop in and say hi. I always appreciate your comments. It always makes me suspicious when I see somebody new and your comment's the only comment down there, Nick Hill, only because I've been trolled and catfished so many times. Yeah. Well, let me chill for a minute and see how it goes. Are you APPRE Appreciate India? I'm having trouble reading that word. APPRECIATE. Are you appreciate India? Is that what you're saying? I really don't know anything about India, to be quite honest. Yeah. I appreciate culture. India's got a lot of culture. Very cool architecture. Where are you from? I'm from California. I still find it very odd that your comments are the only one there. $12 and $13. Thanks again, you guys. Yeah, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 comments from you, and no comments from anyone else. Donald Trump, new president of the USA. Yes, he is, as of today. Yeah. Something tells me yeah, I might have to kick you to the curb, Nick Hill. Very suspicious how your comments are the only one there. Yeah, I think maybe it's time to let you go. Sorry, Nick Hill. We'll see if some more comments come through. I've been through this before. And if I got you wrong, my bad. But when things don't make sense, down there in the comment section, there's usually a good reason for it. 6 and 13. All right, Johnny, just be patient. It always makes me uncomfortable to sit here and just be quiet. Makes me feel like people are staring at me. Oh, shit. I like the interaction with you good folks out there. Well, I guess I could have put Homeboy on a timeout. I always forget about that. Make sure other people aren't being pushed out. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 messages from the same cat. Oh, look, Tatanka's in the house. How you doing, young man? Big day today. New president. Did you hear all the nonsense about good old Joe Biden passing out pardons for a whole bunch of folks who aren't even charged with a crime, so they can't get charged with a crime in the future now that we got a new president? Tell me that ain't suspicious. Especially Fauci. Man, how is that even legal? And then good old Donald Trump, I saw where he's declared an emergency at the southern border so that he can get the U.S. military down there on the border and secure our border. That's a good thing. Yeah, it feels like the sun came out today just working on the bathroom, putting in a new shower kit and sink and vanity. Well, good for you, man. Glad to hear it, homeboy. Yeah, if that doesn't imply guilt, I don't know what does. That's exactly what I was saying. It's just the rules for the three, just the rules for thee and not for me. Amen, dude. Absolutely. I mean, he passed out so many pardons. It's crazy. And he said he wasn't going to do it, and then he turns around and does it. Unbelievable, man. And I saw an interview where Trump was going to disclosure, was going to release the Kennedy files, all kinds of disclosure. I sure hope so, man. I sure hope so. The truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years with him in office to see what shakes out. Wow, something happened. We dropped down to 1 right quick. Oh, me and my gadget. Mm-mm-mm. Fun and games. Oh. Vault, you made millions off of the vaccine and with Pfizer, and he was sending all kinds of our money over there to China to that lab with the gain of function research. Yeah, I know, dude. And clearly Fauci was on the hook, man. He was going to swing in the wind. You know how many businesses closed? How many families lost their income because of that guy? Homeboy needs to be in prison. Boy. Unreal. Unreal. Wow, the view count just went to dog shit. You get to talking about Trump and whatnot. The gadget don't like it. I'm curious to see what Trump says about the drones in the sky, because he said he was going to release that too. I was going to get that shot because I have emphysema. Biden came out and said he was going to mandate it, so I said now I'm not getting it. Good for you, dude. I never got it either. And my right lung collapsed twice. So being in a high risk group, I'm way up there at the top of the list, but I never got the jab. I had COVID one time and have not had it since. Funny thing is, I don't know if I ever caught it because I haven't been real sick like that. Whether I was one of the lucky few that, caught it and didn't even know it, I couldn't tell you. Oh, a little bunny rabbit running across the yard out in the snow. Oh, too cute. Yeah, the jab made me paranoid, man. I didn't want to be their guinea pig. And I was like that before COVID came out. I remember years ago when my lung collapsed, the doc wanted me to get the flu shot. And I was like, nope. He goes, oh, you better. And he talked me into it. And on the way home from the doctor's office after getting the flu shot and pneumonia shot, it was like 3 in 1. And I felt sick and I could taste metal in my mouth. And I was like, man, I knew I shouldn't have done that. And that was the last time I got a vaccine. And that was, probably 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago now. I was still on the job site back then. That was the last vaccine I got. And before that vaccine, I hadn't had one since I was a kid. So in the last 20 or 30 years, I've had one vaccine. But you ain't sticking me with no needles. Just ain't gonna happen. I'll take my chances. Tatanka, do you know how to catch a unique rabbit? No. How do I catch a unique rabbit? I think that's what that says, unique. Me and my reading, dyslexia. Pain in the ass. Yeah, you get on this gadget, you talk about the jab and vaccines, boy, they just smash your channel. And with everything that's come out about the vaccine, you would think they would backpedal, but they still throw you under the bus for talking about that shit. But something tells me that's all about to change with Trump being in office. All that nonsense about TikTok and whatnot. Unique up on him. There you go, Tatanka. Yeah. One crazy world we live in, brother. You're old enough to remember the old days. I was just out here talking about when I was a kid. I had a newspaper route when I was 12 years old. What it took to earn a paycheck. And when I got my first real job, hourly job, $2.90 an hour, saving up to buy my first car. And my first car was a 66 Chevelle, and I paid $450 for that thing. Now you couldn't touch a 66 Chevelle for under 10 grand. Probably closer to 20 grand. Me and my hot rods. Always been a car guy. Oh, Tatanka, I'm going to link a video in the comment section when this is over. A podcast that I watched with JohnnyO. Really good, dude. Really good. Really good. I was born a free American and will die one. I am a constitutionalist and I believe in freedom of speech. You and me both, young man. You and me both. And there are times where my big mouth gets me in trouble, but you're not going to shut me up. Good, God fearing Christians died defending our Constitution, which affords us free speech. Ain't nobody going to take that from me. Are you going and casting a soda bottle to get extra change? Oh, yeah, dude, I used to collect bottles. We used to knock door to door when we were real young. Go through the dumpsters and collect bottles. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You always wanted the 10-cent bottles, but you would take the 5-cent bottles, took whatever I could. But you had to make sure it said redeem for deposit right on the bottle because the other bottles weren't worth anything. I remember. That was before the newspaper route. I used to walk in the morning before the rooster crow searching for soda bottles to get myself some dough. Amen, brother. I remember. Leonard Skinner, Crisis Low Good Song. Sir, Curtis. Why am I not reading that word? Jocko's badass. I'd say yes or no, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, the podcast that I watched today, it's an older one. It's the story of this Jocko and this guy's dad, who was a Marine, talking about his son who was a Navy SEAL that died a hero and got the Medal of Honor for jumping on a grenade. What an incredible story, man. And this kid who got the Medal of Honor, when he was born, he was kind of frail and he had jaundice and asthma, and I got asthma, so I know what that's like, and how he quit the first time trying to get through the Navy SEAL training and then went back and got through. It's just such an incredible story. And this dad, and as a matter of fact, his father was telling his background story and saying how he had moved, his family moved to Wisconsin when he was a kid and they got chased out because they were from Lebanon. I could relate. That's right. I used to love football. I don't watch it no more once people started taking a knee. Yeah, amen. I quit watching football when Neon Deion Sanders got his Sharpie and started writing on the goalpost. There was no more sportsmanship. You know, I go back to Lyle Alzado and John Matuszak, the Oakland Raiders, back in the day when they would just be out there banging, boy. But football turned into a clown show. I couldn't stand it anymore. They got a big enough platform that they can't protest. I stand on the anthem place. There you go, Tatanka. I hear you, man. Absolutely. The reason the flag was still there standing when the Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner. Yep. You and I speak the same language, homeboy. That flag was under direct bombardment and they went out of their way to give their lives to, amen. Stand back up and stand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, crying shame what happened to this country. That whole woke movement bullshit. Let's hope it turns around with this new president for all the right reasons, too. So many people hate on Trump. It's pitiful. And he used to hang out with Reverend Jaxie, Why can't I? Brain fart. I'm getting old. Reverend Jaxie James. Oh, I can't. You know the guy I'm thinking of. Super Slows was a man anthem. Leonard Skinner song. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Oh, Curtis Lowe. There you go. There you go. Now I get you. Now I get you. I guess you're the only one here, homeboy. My trolls, man, they find a different way to fuck with me. There's no doubt about it, because it's very uncharacteristic for me to see one person in the comment section. But that's all right. We'll just hang out, homeboy. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. I don't even know if they do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag in elementary school anymore. They're more concerned with pronouns, patriotism, you know? God, family, and country instead of others. Like you said, you're not taking my free speech. Oh man, this live, boy, it took a shit. Mm-mm-mm. Get to talking about Fauci and the jab and whatnot. YouTube won't put me in circulation for shit. I was saying this on yesterday's live. Back when I was yelling and screaming about all my drama in the neighborhood, I had 1,400 people plug into one live. 1,400. Right now I see one. And I've been doing this YouTube thing for quite a while. My first video was little Kimba when she was a baby, and that was back in 2012. And what are we in? 2024? So what's that, 12 years ago? Yeah, I got on YouTube shit list. I don't think I'll ever get off. Ooh, excuse me. But that's all right. I gotta laugh. Mm-mm-mm. What time is it? 4 o'clock. I'm gonna have to get after cooking some dinner before too long. But I got inspired watching that podcast with JohnnyO and this gentleman talking about his son. It was so inspirational. I wanted to come out here and share and try to get people to go watch it. Very good. Very good. Anyone that don't like America needs to live in another country. Amen. Yeah, come back and let me know how that worked out. Amen, dude. I think people are starting to wake up, JohnnyO. I sure hope so, brother. I sure hope so. Jesse Jackson. There you go. That's the name I was trying to think of. Trump was a bulldog Democrat most of his life. Yep, yep, yep. How quickly people forget. You know, George Bush Jr. and Sr. were a piece of work. But after Barack Obama became president and then Biden, this country fucking just went right down the shitter. You know, in the 4 years Trump was in there, he did a lot of good. But Biden just fucked it all up, especially with the southern border. They better hope that whole nonsense about sleeper cells because of the southern border doesn't start popping off. They'll see how wrong they were. Hit me up sometime. I'll send you my number. Okay, Tatanka. I'll uh I'll figure out how to come back after this is over and then pull these comments back up and then write your email down and I'll shoot you an email, brother. I'll hit you up, man. Yeah, I would love to have a conversation on the phone for sure. You and I see the world in very similar ways. Coming up, having a hard life, and seeing things for what they really are, and not falling prey to other people's bullshit. It's refreshing to me to see that there's still some people with half a brain out there that can think for themselves. Right on, man. Sounds good. That way you can give me a call if you ever feel lonely and got my wife, but when she's not here, I get that. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's been tough here, man. Like being in the fucking shoe day after day after day without even talking out loud. That's brutal. I've never been so isolated in my life. And it's not an easy thing to do. So thank you for that, brother. I mean that. We both had hard lives and we're both the same generation. We come from a time when people had morals still. Amen. Ain't that the truth? And respect. Respect for your elders, respect for your teachers at school, even respect for the police. You know, they got a job to do, and if you fuck up, you get caught, well, shit happens. But in this day and age, respect is gone. They had some of them guys in the shoe for over 30 years. Holy fuck. Man. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. I mean, I have freedom, right? I could go to the store. I live in a nice house, etc., etc. But this little town that I live in, I'm surrounded by haters, so I just stick to myself. And I got one friend in town, my neighbor down the street, and I see him maybe once or twice a month, man. Tommy Silverstein is the more time in isolation than any American prisoner. They called him Terrible Tommy. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. AB, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the penal system's a fucking train wreck. You know, rehabilitation. It's fucking torture. Ain't no rehabilitation. I agree with you too, bro. Respect is everything, and I stand corrected. Crazy Steve, you are right. That's how you spell it. Okay. Sorry about that, Crazy Steve. Welcome aboard. Sir, do you remember me? Sonu? I don't. My bad. My spelling never was good. I did all my time in Illinois, but I've got some good friends out there in Cali. Right on, Tatanka. Barry Wood, salute. Right back at you, homeboy. Good to see you. Yeah, my little brother was in San Quentin when he was 18 years old. This would have been back in, I graduated in 81, 82. This would have been the mid 80s. And then he violated for some road rage and went to Corcoran in 87, 88. And I used to visit him when he was in San Quentin. Jump on the bus and they take you to the back. Well, I'll tell you what, my little brother doing time kept me out of so much trouble because seeing San Quentin from the outside looking in scared the living shit out of me as a young man. I knew that wasn't the place for me. Sonu, sir, where are you from? I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, Redwood City. Let's see, Tatanka talking to Steve. Nice, nice. I like it. I like it when you guys know each other. Makes it feel like family. You know, all my bitching about this channel not getting any rotation. The nice thing is I don't get much for trolls anymore. I'm ashamed of my time and even going there, it's nothing to be proud of. Yeah, Tatanka, you know, my brother was the same way. My brother never talked about prison, and I never asked him. Because I knew he was ashamed of it, right? He didn't want people knowing he was an ex-con. So, you know, it was kind of like a family secret, and we didn't talk about it. And we'd go over to my other brother's house, Paul, rest in peace, and Paul would have barbecues, and there was this dude, Brad, who had done time, and he'd run around calling my brother Wood. And my brother would get pissed and say, man, I'm no Wood. Don't talk to me like that. Because he didn't have that ex-convict mentality. It wasn't something he was proud of. Sir, what is the time in your city? It is 4:15 in the evening. Crazy Steve. My ex-friend went to prison for beating the brakes off of his MRS, gave her brain damage. Damn. Beat the alphabet out of her. He's got 3 more years to serve. Damn. Man. That's harsh, Crazy Steve. I've known a few people from my childhood who ended up in the pen or dead. You know, anybody that grew up in foster homes and living in a ghetto, you know what it's like to have a hard life. You know, I was real responsible as a kid because I was the oldest of 3, so I had to be the dad. So acting a fool really wasn't an option for me. But I'd come close a couple times. Had I taken the hammer to the dude that lived downstairs because of what he did to my mom, they'd have hauled me off as a young man in a heartbeat. What's the worst is he was a professional fighter. Oh, damn, Steve. My mom's husband, my brother's dad, he was a big dude, angry, and a drinker. And he used to go to bars and get in bar fights all the time and get thrown in jail for assault. And finally, he went before the judge one too many times, and the judge said, as of today, your hands are registered as lethal weapons. The next time you beat somebody up, you're going to prison for assault with a deadly weapon. And that's exactly what happened. He beat up our landlord in this apartment we lived in, and they tossed him in San Quentin for 2 years for putting a beating on somebody. One trip to prison was enough. Amen, Tatanka. Sir, do you have a dog? His name is Mama, and she's dead. Yeah, Mama dog passed away, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I used to think I was a real tough guy until I went to prison. Oh, yeah, I bet. Place is full of tough guys. Then I found out there were guys there that did stuff like I did when I was angry because they enjoyed it. Yeah, I hear you, brother. He beat her so bad she forgot how to read. Damn. Sad for you, sir. I'm sorry. Thank you for that, Sonu. Yeah, Mama Dogs. She's in heaven with her daughter and the ex-wife and my baby brother. We'll all be there one day. And to be quite honest, I look forward to it. Just no hurry to get there. It's been a hard life. Still is. But there are plenty of folks out there that got it a whole lot worse than I do, so I don't feel sorry for myself. Most of the time, anyway. Undefeated. Damn. Crazy Steve. I knew quite a few kids in school that had the silver spoon treatment, right? I lived in this little shit ghetto, but I lived in a middle-class city, Redwood City. It wasn't like I lived in Richmond or Oakland or whatnot, but some kids never face any adversity in life. You know, they go through their whole life, a mom, a dad, plenty of money to go around. You know, there were times at the end of the month, mom would tell me to go eat at your friend's house because we didn't have any food. Welfare, food stamps, and cockroaches, you know, foster homes and whatnot. And as a little kid, you don't understand, right? I didn't do anything to be punished, but, you know, to me, being in a foster home was like being in jail because all I wanted to do was go home, right? Just like folks in prison. All you want to do is go home. So I knew what that felt like as a kid. And it changes you. It makes you hard. It makes you strong. Some folks that had the silver spoon, when they run into adversity their first time, they just fall apart. They don't know how to cope. But when you've had a hard life as a kid, you figure shit out quickly because you don't have a choice unless it breaks you. Jeff, prison is all about respect. If you're not looking for trouble, you won't find it. There you go, Jeff. Yeah, my little brother made it through San Quentin with no trouble. He didn't click up. He said he was a part of a car, which I really still don't really know what that means, but a little group of dudes work out together and whatnot. And he beefed with one of the guys in his car, but he kept to himself, minded his business. And when he got out, I got him in the sheet metal union. He got a job and he never went back. He paid his dues. He was 18 years old at a 7-Eleven, drunk, got in a fight with some kids in the parking lot, and this dude hit him with a pool stick. And my brother ran back to the car, and the only thing in the car was the bumper jack, the old school bumper jack. And he grabbed that thing and hit this dude in the head and split his head open, and his brains were hanging out. And then when the dude fell on the ground, he hit him a second time, which didn't do any damage. But in the courtroom, he was found guilty of assault with a deadly weapon, and his lawyer was for shit. And if he had a good lawyer, he would have skated because it was heat of the moment, right? He didn't sit there and hit the guy over and over and over again. He hit him once, and then he hit him a second time, and then the dude didn't move, so he stopped. but it cost him 2 years of his life. And then his angry, his temper, road raging on some chick on the freeway. She called the cops and then violated him, and he went to Corcoran for another year or 8 months or something. And this was back in the 80s. Being 18 years old in San Quentin, I couldn't imagine. Jeff. In Minnesota prisons. All right. Tatanka, you're right about that, Jeff. They are the same predators that prey on people, but for the most part, that statement is 100% correct. There you go. Steve, what I found insane is in court he used my life experiences as his to get sympathy from the judge. We grew up together from 7 years old. He deserved a minimum of 20. Yeah, no doubt, especially when it comes to putting hands on a woman. Respect is everything in prison. Yeah, I think that's what my little brother did all right. Before he went to prison, he was already into the martial arts and going to the dojo. So he learned about respect early on. And he had skills before he got there. So he knew how to stick up for himself. And he was smart enough to keep to himself. Sir, are you retired? Yes, I am. I'm a retired sheet metal worker from the union, Local 104. Sorry about your friends, man. 100 or 931 in prison, but when you got a friend, that hurts when stuff like that happens. There you go, Tatanka. I almost got 6 to 30 years on that one thought because he was. Sorry, you guys, my reading sucks. Orbited shock got fractured and he was hanging out of his head. Oh, his orbital. Shit, Tatanka. But they saved his eyeball. Thank God. Boo boo. Holy shit. Keep me from getting this battery class X felony. Whew. Close call, Tatanka. Penis battery, I'm sorry. I do speak to text. No worries, dude. I get it. Between that and my reading, sometimes this gets a little rough. Oh my God. It said penis battery. I told my friend one time, don't be a smartass, and it texted me, you got a sweet ass. Oh, that's funny. Oh, crazy. What time is it? It's almost 4:30. I've been on here for over an hour. Hey, you guys, I think I'm going to check out, get after cooking some dinner. But I'm going to link this podcast with JohnnyO in the comment section right after this is over. It's such a great story. A Medal of Honor recipient, and his dad's talking about his boy who jumped on a grenade to save his friends. Very, very inspirational, man. I highly suggest you watch, man. It's breathtaking. Yeah, I will give you. Yeah, well, I gave you from San Diego. You're part of the Dago car. It's not necessarily the game, though, but they kind of group up where they come from. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they click you up with people from your hood. And I'm sure that's what happened to my brother. He probably had to click up with some people from the Bay San Quentin's in San Rafael, and we lived in Redwood, which wasn't far, or actually at that time we lived in South City, which wasn't far. So I'm sure he got clicked up with some locals, and that's the car he had to ride in. All right, you guys, I'm going to check out, get after some dinner. Thanks for popping in and sharing your stories. I appreciate you. I really do. All of you. And please do me a favor, a kind act for a stranger. Learn from your mistakes and pay it forward. Keep your nose clean. Protect the weak. You see somebody homeless on the street, a cup of coffee and a donut, and tell them you care. Sometimes that goes a long way for somebody who's having a hard time. It's good karma. Thanks again for popping in. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a nice evening, and I'll catch you on the next one. But watch the video I'm going to link in the comment section when this is over. It's well worth watching. All right, y'all. Peace.